Hey everybody, who wants to get lost in an ark? No, we're finding a lost ark. That's what's happening here. That's right. We're going to be checking out Lost Ark, which is a pretty recently released free-to-play game on Steam. And I believe it is only on Steam. It's only on PC. It's not on anything else, from what I understand here. But what Lost Ark is a interesting action RPG style game. You guys like Diablo? Do you like Baldur's Gate? You know, stuff like that. I think you're going to like this game, honestly. And did I say it was free to play? That's right, it is free to play. Interesting thing about this game, by the way, is that it is published by Amazon. We'll get more into that in a second here, but not actually developed by Amazon, which we will get into in just a second, as I said. So I'm actually playing this game with a controller right now. I have been playing it for between 4 and 5 hours, I would say, and I actually just got through the first area of the game. So this game, there's a lot to cover here, guys. So let's start with the combat here, okay? So I'm currently using a controller, but you can use the keyboard. So if you are using the keyboard and mouse, you can actually just hit the buttons that are listed below. For some reason, it's not switching the icons back to the keys on the keyboard. As soon as I connected a controller, it automatically changed them to LB and LT and whatever. But if you're using a keyboard, you're basically doing like the QWERTY section of the keyboard. So it's like, you know, Q, W, E, R, and A, S, D, F. Those are all your keys right there. But then you're also using 1, 2, 3, 4. You're using the F1 keys. There's a lot of keys you got to keep track of here. So basically, with your character, I'm actually playing as the martial artist girl here. She's a pretty sweet character. I really like her. But you hit the keys to make her attack. You hit C, which is her just normal attack. You can do that a million different times. But you'll see down in the bottom center, you have a yellow bar and a green bar. And the yellow abilities that you have here are use the yellow bar, and the green, well, they use the green bar, right? So, anyway, you can use all of these together on, you know, as combos and do different cooldowns. The game with that is a lot of fun. However, you know, like combining all the attacks together and everything is a lot of fun, and seeing all the things that your character can do. She just like totally wrecks things with these gigantic gauntlet things that she has here, you know. But it is kind of taxing on the old fingers, man. I found my fingers kind of like hurting after playing too much of this game. Like, I've played since the beginning of the week. I played about an hour each day, and I find it kind of is enough for me. I could definitely see this being addicting for people, because we'll jump up here and we'll accept this quest that's up here. So we'll show you guys how the quest system works. So basically, it's like you go up to the guy. I haven't really been reading the quest stuff because I've been playing this game very much like you play World of Warcraft or one of those games, you know, Final Fantasy Online. Are you really reading the flavor text? I don't. I never did. You know, did anybody else? Probably not. I don't know. Maybe I'm in the minority. I think not. But anyway, you know, this guy's saying, you know, oh, my arms, my legs, my back, pulled muscles all over my body. Don't think there's any around there, but if I go empty-handed, my boss won't be happy. So basically, he's giving you the task of, like, picking up something for his boss. So here's our quest. Inform caravan leader Joffrey in the temporary encampment of the situation. Okay, so we accept that. Boom, we got a quest. The game is very good at keeping track of your quests. Pretty much anything you're going to be on, you're never really going to have more than, like, 3 or 4 quests at once, which is kind of nice because it gives you, you know, less to keep track of. You can see we got move the temporary encampment, inform caravan leader, and then those are our quests. So you can see here on the map, this is a very large map, and we have this area to get to turn these in. So the game, just so you guys know, really holds your hand. Like, really holds your hand. Let's get into some fighting here. I feel like we've been talking a lot. I gotta show you guys how this works. All right, here we go. Boom! Very fun. So right now, I am using the keyboard to fight, and I personally, like, I've been using the keyboard, and I just, like, have not been able to get into a good flow with the combat, because I feel like I'm just button mashing, waiting for my cooldowns, right? I love that ability where she can just jump in like that. But I just feel like it has not really clicked Though the combat is very fun. It's really fun to see your character do all these moves and stuff together. It's very cool. It looks good. It shows really good in a trailer, you know what I mean, or when you're playing it. But at the same time, it's like, man, you know, it hurts my fingers. The keys are all strewn out. I feel like there may be too many abilities to pay attention to. It's almost like, you know, they were like, hey, we are going to put a crap ton of abilities on every character so that way they can always have an ability to use even if something else is cooling down. It's a really weird system. You'll see all, you know, 8 of your abilities down there in the bottom left. You'll see, you know, 4 or 5 of them cooling down, but then you still have the other 3. And then once you use those, you can hit C, which is your normal attack. And then once those other ones cool down, you can button mash again. So that's how it kind of feels to me. It kind of feels like I'm button mashing a lot. I have now switched over to the controller. It already feels a lot better, at least to me. And there is you'll see on the map there, the mini map up at the top right, there is a little boss icon. Maybe we'll go over there and take that guy out. Show you guys what a boss looks like. And when we do that, then I'll show you guys the Adventurous Tome, because that is pretty cool. There we go. God, I love that jump ability. The game, if anything, is like just worth playing for that, you know? So the combat so far has been very easy. I died once because I wasn't really paying attention because I was like, just like, yeah, whatever, these guys are not going to kill me, right? And it kind of caught me off guard because I wasn't paying attention. But overall, like, I died once because I was being negligent and not really paying attention. But the game is super, super easy. You'll also notice that, here, we'll watch this cutscene here. The game is full of cutscenes, too. Lots of characterization, lots of story, lots of, you know, lots of cutscenes, which is cool. There's a story.
Looks like they're gonna find the entrance for me.
Now, because this game was developed in Korea, and it was it's actually been very, very popular over there for a long time. It came out in 2019, and Amazon decided, hey, we're gonna publish it over here and get some of that. That's basically the story of this. But you can tell that the characters all have like a very you know, we'll say like Korean influenced style to them, like an Eastern style look to them. You know, very like for lack of a very better description, this is an action RPG where the characters look like they could be in a Final Fantasy game. You know, which I'm not complaining about. I think it's kind of cool because most action RPGs, they all have that kind of same look. You know, big dudes, big boots, and everything. These characters, all of them, seem to have a little bit more of a feminine kind of look to them, which I'm totally into because it kind of looks more realistic at times because of that. It's not so cartoony and comic booky. Let's see here. We want to talk to this guy. So I'm using the controller, but I'm not sure. Okay, so the controller, you can actually use the right stick to move the mouse around. But how do we talk to this guy? Why? Trigger? I don't know. This is going to be one of those games where I got to use the mouse to, like, click on dudes, right? All right, so that guy sent us over. We're going to turn this one in. Sorry, I yelled. Now, while there's a lot of story, a lot of characters and everything, I haven't necessarily found any of the characters super interesting. I've been mostly playing this game as a, you know, jump in, mash button, have fun type of game. And if that's all you're looking to get out of this, I think you're going to have a lot of fun with it. If you're looking for anything much deeper than that, the only thing I could say is that if you are really into collecting things and crossing things off a list, you know, someone who's really into an MMO, I think you're going to really, really like what we have here. So I'm going to show you right now what we got going on. So in the game, you have all kinds of checkboxes and things you could tick off and find, right? This was at the very start of the game, and I've done all of these quests through one thing or another. Some of them are tutorial things. Some of them are, you know, just find this thing, you know, whatever it is. We finished this one by finishing the last continent that we were just on. So we say so long to Rethramis. Is that how you say it? We can claim the reward, which is like 10 healing potions. So we hit claim reward, grab it. That is now in our pack, which is cool. So now what's nice about the game, though, is that if you hadn't collected a thing, and you forgot, you can come back and say, oh, we visited Udia, so we can claim that reward. We get 1,500 pieces of whatever for that. And here's another example of that. So you press O to click on roster information in the quick menu at the bottom of the screen. See your roster level status and claim the rewards you have unlocked. So we can close this at any point, hit O. It's going to bring up our roster. Now, roster level is a whole other thing. Like I said, guys, there's a lot to this game. Just when you think like there's a portion of it that you're like, it's just that kind of game. It only has like, one. It only has one level to it. There's a lot of levels. There's stuff that like I haven't even unlocked yet or gotten into yet, which is how deep this game really goes. So anyway, we're going to claim this reward. The roster level is super cool. Down here in the bottom left, you're going to see that we have our combat level, which is at 18. That means our character is currently level 18. We have a roster level of 6, and your roster level is for all of your characters. So if you are really into this game, you choose to do 3, 4 characters, something like that, and run them through. They all share this roster level, and then they all share these upgrades that you get from the roster menu. So for example, we have a bunch to collect that I haven't collected yet, but you can see I've already had all roster characters gain 5 strength. They all gain 5 vitality. So now we're going to get 5 more vitality. We're going to grab that. Strength, dexterity, intelligence, depending on your character, of course, and then more vitality. So we get a little bit more health and a little bit stronger there, which is nice. So I like that they added that in there. And if you have another character come in later, they're already coming in at a little bit of a boost. And you can see like where you're, how many points you've already upgraded your roster with. So, we got 15 strength and 15 vitality, which is super cool. So that's one portion of all the stuff that's going in. Now, because we did that, we can go back in here. We can claim this reward, get some money, and boom, look at that. There's other things in here to do. I'll come back to this another time. But the other thing I mainly want to show you guys here is the Adventurous Tome. Now, the Adventurous Tome is really interesting because you can see all of the stuff that you can do in the current continent that you're in. So this was the continent that we just finished. This is Rethrimus. This is the first continent that you start in, and you can see there's all kinds of checkboxes and stuff to do. There's tons of things to find. If we go back here, you see that the main quest over here on the left, where my cursor is not filled in whatsoever. That means we haven't really done anything yet. You can see Udia is at 0.0%. I literally just got here, so we haven't done anything. Rethrimus is at 43.5%, so we've technically finished it, but there's still so much more we could go back and do. So, like I said, if you are one of those players who just is a completionist and you want to complete everything, this is going to be one of those games you either love or hate, because you're going to start it and go like, oh, I got so much to do, this is awesome, or you're going to be like, oh my god, I'm not even having fun, but I feel like I got to complete everything, right? For me personally, though, I'm not really much of a completionist in games anymore. I used to be when I was younger, but I don't really care about that anymore. I just more care about finishing games at this point. With this game, though, I definitely have a want to go in and just like check all of this stuff off, Yeah, but you can see there's certain vistas I haven't even collected. So a vista is like when you walk up, it's kind of like you hit the use button and it gives you this nice like overview of where you're currently at. So I've only found 4 of those. So there's 4 more I can go back and find. Now, of course, I'm sure people have written up guides for this game already. You can probably go find all of this stuff easily. But hey, that's the kind of game it is. If you want to pull up a guide and just find all of this stuff, you could do that, which is super cool. So there's collectible stuff to find. You find 25 spores. You have to like use those in your pack, and then they go in here, and it keeps track of that. There's certain elite and named monsters to find. You can see I found a good portion of them, but there's still other ones I have not found yet. There's boss characters that you can find that just wander around the area, which I'm assuming you can take out alone or with other people that happen to be there. And they give you a clue as to where he's at, but it says like this guy, he was a high priest of the Holy Sacrian Empire, however, he became fascinated with powers, blah, blah, blah. Now he's just like a monster that wanders the monastery in the graveyard, which is pretty cool. So all the characters do have like backstory, like I said. So whether you're into that story is going to depend on how much you're into fantasy and that kind of thing, Now, look at this guy. The Salt Giant is the boss for this area here. I have not come across any of these bosses yet, but I assume they're going to be pretty damn, intimidating. The other thing we want to check out, too, is if you hit the map button, you can see this is where we at. We got a lot to do here because we just got here, haven't done anything yet. But there's a lot of different things to show off. You got everything from like transport, they call them triports, but it's like just a teleport thing that you could jump into to jump from place to place. I think they cost like 15 silver to use or whatever. It's not a big deal or whatever. you know, they obviously have different tradesmen and whatnot. But the other interesting thing that you might see here, actually on this level, they don't have any. These blue circles are basically just the connecting zones. Once we go through that, that'll go to the next area there. Let's see here. Let's go back to... No, I don't want to... I wanted to show you guys the map. We haven't hit a... Well, I'll show you guys that once we hit a triport. But basically what I want to talk to you guys were the dungeons and the instances in this game. There are dungeons that you can queue up for like you do in MMOs. So the MMO that I played the most in my past is World of Warcraft. So having played a lot of World of Warcraft, you know, there were many, many years where you had to sit at the dungeon entrance, you know, and wait for people to show up and go like, hey, you want to run with me? Or then they finally added the looking for group channel where it's like, oh, you could find a group that wants to do a certain dungeon. Then they finally added a matchmaking system where it's like you could jump in, queue for a dungeon, and people would join in with you, and it would just randomly select you, put you together, which was really, really nice and convenient. This game takes all of the creature comforts, you know, from World of Warcraft and Diablo and all that stuff, and mashes them into one game here. Now, obviously, like I said, the game has been out since 2019 in Korea. I don't know what it was like when it first came out, but it feels like here in America, we are now kind of reaping the benefits of all those years of developments and tweaking and patching and that kind of stuff, which is kind of cool.
The people who were scattered during the attack.
I don't mind
reached
getting
this
a like
temporary
Game of the Year
encampment
version
yet.
of a game, you know, a couple years later when I haven't played yet. All right, guys, we're gonna kind of jam through a couple
I'll
of
be
quests
treating
here
the wounded
to
nomad.
kind of
For
get
you?
us over to
Why
the
do
next
you
area to
claim
get a
to help
triport,
us?
and then maybe I'll take you back to
Why
the
would an
last area
outsider
and show
aid
you that,
us?
because the last area was super cool. The last area you were fighting off a plague, and it was very I would say Warcraft 3 centric, you know, because it was all about the Scourge and all that. Okay, so we're gonna run over there. So yeah, the control in this game I feel like is one of the biggest problems with it. And there's a second biggest problem, you know, it's a game that's free to play, so you guys could jump into this and check it out. The reason I wanted to cover is because not only is it a cool and fun to play game, but it is a very large install. I think it's like 80 gigs. So if you guys wanted to see what this game was like before you installed 80 gigs of it, that's kind of why I wanted to do this. You know, it's not like a 5 gig game that you can just install real quick and you're good to go. But, you know, one of the things I don't care for with this game, though, is that it really, really holds your hand. Like, to the point where the game has not been hardly at all. Especially the dungeons. I expected to get, like, a huge challenge for the dungeons, but you're paired with 3 other people who are all, like, seemingly overpowered, right? And it's interesting. Just smash those guys up. And it's interesting because a friend of mine and me were talking about this recently. We're both playing the game, but kind of separately because we can't find time to play together. But he was saying, like, you know, I like the game, but it just feels like you're playing on easy mode. Like, he remembered, because we played World of Warcraft together. Oh, God. They came back. They spawned. But you could see that the characters, like, the enemies, like, didn't even come after us there. You see that? We'll go over to this next area here. But we played World of Warcraft together, and he said, like, remember in Warcraft how they would say, like, hey, you need to go find 8 of these things. And it was challenging to find those 8 things because you had to, like, you know, sort of like march your character around certain really dangerous areas with dangerous creatures. In this, it's like you feel like you can just charge in, get the thing, and leave. And the majority of the time when they're giving you something, or giving you a task to find something, I should say, it's not really that big of a problem. There we go. You hit left stick to do that. Okay, that's your use. You know, it's just a very easy thing where you run in and you collect like 1 or 2 of a thing, and then you're done. Like you saw right there, like I had to find a thing, I found the thing, I was done. And then look, we're already finishing like
Everyone who
2
escaped with me
quests,
headed
like without
south.
much happening at all. It's really kind of weird that way. You know, I think the highest amount that I actually had to find something, I think was like 8. And I was like, okay, this feels a bit more like an MMO style quest instead of just like march in, grab 1 blueberry, come back here. I'm like, one blueberry, 1 friggin' blueberry. You guys couldn't march over to that bush over there and get the 1 blueberry. World of Warcraft, most of the time, I know there were jokes about it, but most of the time, when they sent you out on a quest, it felt like you were going out on a quest. This kind of feels like you're just running down the street to get milk. You know, you know what I mean? And God, the controller is awkward in this. It's like I want to use the mouse and keyboard when I interact with people to get quests. See, like we're collecting. We just killed 4 of those guys because they're in huge numbers. And there you go. We already finished that quest. That's how quick that quest went by. It's just so weird. Hey, there's another boss named guy over here. Who is it? Let's go check him out. Alright, I'm still kind of getting used to... Okay. I don't know what my pushing buttons are here. Still kind of figuring that out. I might even go back to keyboard here. It just feels like so awkward and strange on the controller. I feel like there's just like too much mapped over. I'm gonna jump back now. There we go. I'm gonna have to turn my controller off though because it's like vibrating. It's like things here. All right, well there you go. Got some loot, killed some dudes. Oh yeah, one of the other things I want to say is like the other reason why it feels like it's on easy mode is like creatures barely aggro you too. I'm gonna turn my controller off because it's vibrating on the table here. Turn this off. There we go. Okay, back to the game. And we will just play with keyboard and mouse. But now you can see the Q, W, E, R, ASDF there. They don't even have C listed as your normal attack there. But yeah, you'll run by a group of monsters, and it'll be like, hey, they're just like, what's up? They don't care what you're doing. I'm gonna jump on my mount. I got this mount almost like first thing in the game here. And the mount actually helps you run through dudes too. You have it. Oh my god, look at that. That person's got like a big old turtle. I want the turtle. I like the cool looking horse, but I want the turtle. Right. It's also kind of awkward getting off the horse when you're on it, because you don't just unmount like you do in WoW to like you know when you get attacked or when you are attacking. You have to kind of like dismount yourself. I have to hit 9 on my keyboard to like dismount every time. So it's kind of awkward because it's like you could be being attacked, but it won't put you off the mount. I'm sure they did that for a reason. They probably like just keep missing this guy. It doesn't matter because he's not really attacking you. I gotta look on the map and see where we're going here. All right, where is 2? That's the other thing, is that, like I said, the game holds your hand, so it's like it kind of shows you where everything is all the time. So it's like, okay, so I aggroed that guy, but like look how slow he was. He like couldn't even do anything. Oh, here we go. This is where we gotta be. Okay, let's do this first. Destroy. This work. Go around the pot. There we go. So it's not even hard to actually find stuff. Like it kind of ruins any kind of exploration that you were going to do in the game. So, you know, I don't go to this game looking for a game that's all about exploration. Go to this looking for a game that is just like mainly about like completing stuff and then getting the ability to complete more stuff. That's really what it comes down to. And it kind of sucks to say because it's a really, really well done little action RPG. I shouldn't say little, it's gigantic. Did you see how much content is in it? We'll look again once we go turn these in. Where are we heading? Oh, we're heading down this way. Okay. But for a free-to-play game having this much content for an ARPG, for those of you like me who are just like fans of, you know, hack and slash style games, man, there is so much here to play.
Who are you? Falcon wants me to come to the north side? Is he crazy? There are bandits everywhere.
So it's saying we got some token items here by clicking. So my webcam is actually blocking it, but there is, they do put, little tutorial boxes up when they pop up to help you out. This is a loot game, and I'm sorry, guys, I haven't been showing off the loot stuff at all, but we'll show it off now. So if you go over to your Adventure Tome, you grab it over here. We killed a couple of special monsters there, but they weren't named characters. The named characters are actually legendary, like orange colored, I believe. But you can still see we're at 0%. But if we go back to the tome again, reopen it. If we go to choose continent, you can see we're starting the second one. It took me about between 4 to 5 hours to finish the first one at 43%. And look how many more continents you have to do. So there's a lot of game here that's free to play, which is what's insane. Now, obviously, because it's free to play, that means the game is going to have microtransactions. So from what I've played so far of the game, though, I'm fairly confident that you could probably play through the whole game and not have to buy anything, probably. I don't see why you would need to at this point. Like, the game is already pretty easy, unless they decided, like, hey, we're going to do a thing where we're going to, like, make it really annoying for the player here, and make it so, like, this part's really hard unless they get this certain aura, because you can buy auras and that kind of thing, but... Okay. The other thing I wanted to show you in the Adventuring Tome here, let's see, Tome, were these things, the collectibles. So I did gain a collectible here. It is Solar Salt ×2. So when we right-click on this, it gets added into our Adventurous Tome. So now we have 1 of 25 of those. So there's 2. I found 2 of those guys. So we need to find 25 of those. I don't know what happens when you find 25. I don't know if they give you a reward or something like that. I assume it's got to be some kind of a reward. But I haven't done it yet. So that's one of the things I'm going to have to go back to Rithramus and do to, see what happens with that. Because you can see on that one, I've actually collected, let's see, 5 spores, 3 of those fragments. I did collect one of the cooking things, which was like this old thing of wine, 500-year-old wine, which is kind of interesting. You also collect things for rerunning dungeons. So, for example, like this Aquilix skin, that's actually the skin of the boss in a certain dungeon. So you got to collect 4 of those to unlock whatever this is supposed to be. So there's going to be a fair bit of grinding. And what's interesting about the game, too, is that they didn't make a game where you're going to be able to grind killing monsters, because I don't know if you guys have noticed the XP gain on monster kills, but it's like 2. And if you look at your combat level, which we're actually close to gaining a level, which is perfect, so I can show you guys the leveling system. But it's funny because, like, you could see, it's very small text, but I'm at 65,000 out of about 80,000, 75, 75.9. So 2 XP is nothing in this game here. Let's check out our character here. We get some upgrades. So this is the first time I've actually gotten a ring. Haven't gotten any rings in the game yet, but now we can actually wear them. I can only equip 1 of these items. Oh, so okay. Can only wear 1 of them, so we had duplicates. That's unfortunate. Let's see here. What else do we got? Anything else that's an upgrade? We have a level 90 headpiece. It doesn't really seem to change what she looks like. That's one of the other things with this game, too, is that it doesn't seem like many of the things really change what the character looks like. Like, she, at one point, had... she had more clothes on, we'll say. Like, she had a shirt that actually covered her belly. The upgrade that I got for her just, like, completely, like, made her shiny and no belly. Or rather, no shirt over her belly. So I was kind of like, oh, wow, that's what we're doing here. So if you end up having items that you can't use, or they're below your level, what you can do is actually go into this dismantle menu, rather. And you can actually put everything in here that you want to dismantle that you can't use. So, mostly it's going to be all the crap that, like, you can't upgrade to. So you could sell this to the merchant as is if you want. But by dismantling it, I think it's actually a clever system, because the stuff is useless, really, when you get it. Like, you can't save it or use it for anything else. I guess you could save it for, like, another character, but why bother? You get so many drops, it doesn't matter. But what it does is it frees up space in your inventory. If you hit dismantle, hit OK, you're going to see, like, oh, we've gotten 5 useful equipment pieces and 29 broken equipment powder. So you get those, and those will now only take up 2 portions or 2 spaces in your inventory, which is super nice. And when you get useful versus broken, broken sells for less, useful sells for more. So you're just able to save space in your inventory, which is appreciated, because I haven't had a full inventory yet, but I can definitely see where it's going, because it's going to be very it's going to be very full at some point if I keep going with this. One of the other things I haven't done either is I found these little scrolls here, and the scrolls say that they open up a hidden passage to, like, you know, different little dungeons and stuff like that. So I haven't done those yet because I wanted to keep leveling into the game a little bit further. But man, this is just one of those games that has so many nooks and crannies and secrets and crazy things to discover, man. I really, really like that about it. It may be an easy game, but it's what I consider like a podcast game, like, or even like a movie game. You know, it's like you put a movie, like one you know, in the background, or a podcast you're just kind of listening to in the background. And you just play. You just kind of like lose yourself in the podcast and play and gain some levels and stuff. And I'm a big fan of those types of games, because some days, man, I just kind of like want to unwind from a long day or whatever it is, and just kill some stuff and gain some levels. And I like that. Let's see here. So in some areas, you'll get these like triggered quests. Destroy the bandits' watchtower. So we got 1 watchtower here. We're going to destroy this one. So there's 1. We got to destroy 2 within 4 minutes, which is not going to be hard, because the map shows you exactly where everything is. And we just killed enough bandits for that quest too. So we're going to run over to this watchtower. Oops. Kind of missing him. Boom. Button mashing here. There we go. So that quest is complete. When you get those triggered quests like that, what's really cool about them, as soon as you finish them, they immediately just turn in for you. I really enjoy that. You don't have to go to somebody, like across the continent or anything like that. I like that. Wow, a lot of bandits here. Okay, yep, we're going the right way. Just making sure. A lot of bandits here. Oh my god. I did see that there was a quest for pickup up here. There is an exclamation mark. There we go. Yep, so we'll go get that exclamation mark before we hit here. We'll get the triport. And I'll go back and I'll show you guys like what the previous area looked like. And the funny thing is, you know, I know that my review videos here, sometimes they can go a little bit long. And this one, honestly, I could probably play for you guys for like another couple of hours. Just like keep talking about it and doing all the different stuff, you know. Okay, we got some new enemies here. We just leveled up. We'll cover that in just a second once we get to the resting area of the triport. Wow, those guys exploded pretty good, didn't they? I got rid of these like moving cactus things. Weird. Okay, we need Munka horns. That's a Munka guy. Okay, so we need 6 of those, so we gotta find some more of those guys. There they are. Give me the horns. Oh, there you go. Complete. We need, see, that's, like I said, it's what's interesting about the game is you don't even have to kill 6 of the enemies to get the thing. I just killed like 3 of them. And I guess it's because they each have 2 horns, right? But at the same time, it's just kind of like, man, they really did not make these hard or grindy or anything. The only way you're going to be able to get levels quick is you just got to quest, and do stuff. By sitting there killing enemies, you are not going to gain the XP you need with those 2 XPs, man. That's for sure.
Hello. Welcome. I heard you
turn into
drove
this
the bandits
guy.
away. Thank you.
Okay. We did get a new purple. So we got a 110 level gauntlet. Okay. That actually changed what they look like. Okay. So let's actually finally get a look at these. Okay. So here were the old ones I was using. These green big old ones. My gauntlets have looked that way since I started. Like I've upgraded them probably 4 or 5 times to better versions, but they always look the same. Now we finally got some new ones, and those are pretty cool. I like that. I dig that. All right, let's take a look at the upgrade system here. This is your skill menu here. Every time you get a level up, you get 5 points that you can throw into different skills. These are all your skills that we have already put on our character here. We're now at the point where I have a new skill, but I have no place for it. So this is where you actually have to pick and choose between your 8 skills where you want to put stuff, right? And this is where I feel like I really need to kind of like start moving stuff around, like move green up to one area up here. What do we get? We get a charge. Oh, and you unlock achievements for everything too, by the way. This is the first time I've actually messed around with moving my skills around. So I think the game was finally like, hey, you finally were moving things around. Nice work. So we'll pull that one out. We'll put Q there, I guess. And we'll check out the new charge one here and just check it out. So when you do this, you have the option of putting skill points into, you know, newly acquired abilities, or we'll do this one just for the sake of the video here. You could put, you know, if we select charge, you see it says 0 4 points. So if we put 1, 2, 3 points into it, we now have 4. And now we can actually pick something from this first tier that will make our character more powerful. So shock consumption will, what is that? Yeah, it goes down. We don't use as much. Crit rate goes up. So there's a lot of little things we can do. You know, cooldown goes down, you know, that kind of thing. We'll just go with the crit rate here for now and hit save. You can also do a recommended if you want. I've been kind of just doing whatever I want with these, and I have had no problem with killing anything or destroying anything, so whatever, right? But you get to a point here where, like, I have 1 skill point left, and there's really nothing I can do because everything takes 4 or 5 points now to upgrade. And I'm not going to get another skill until level 20. So I got 1 more. Oh, okay, so at next level, I'm going to get 2 skills, so that's pretty cool. So I'll get to play around with stuff again. So yeah, I'll put all the yellow on ASDF, and I'll put all the green up on the top one. Ooh. We'll see how it goes. Skills power increases the longer you hold down the key. Really? Okay, so I'm going to have to remember that. All of the skills, like not all of them, but some of the skills have like little icons on them. And some of them you can combo with other skills. And that one was one, it said, where you could hold down the button, which is kind of cool. So I like that they added in that variation, you know? Okay, we're going to talk to
I arrived early to
Armin
have a look
here.
around.
Armin is this like wizard dude that we've been following around because he's on a quest to just like, you know, bring good to the world. And you're chasing after that demon guy. You saw him at the beginning of the video. I forgot to mention it. Excuse me. But you saw him at the beginning of the video. We're kind of chasing that guy.
You want me to tell you about the
because
Morai
he's,
ruins?
you know, quite obviously he's a bad guy. But you do get quests like this too, where it's like we talk to Armin, then he's like, go talk to the baldy guy. Now you go back to talk to Armin. And it's just like, man,
could whisper secrets
why are you guys doing this
to us?
Stupid. Absolutely stupid. We did get some roster XP, so we're moving up here. And our next quest is to go down to the occupied Saltern. But, let's see, we're 40 minutes into the video here, guys. I don't want to keep you too much longer. I am going to go back, though, now that we have a triport here, somewhere for me to jump back to. We are going to go to... Let's see, where should we... Let's go to the border post. That's 90 to go back. Oh, well. I've only got 85,000. I think we'll be okay. It's weird how the price varies depending. Maybe it's dependent on how much you finish of the world. I'm not sure. Or of that continent. So we're going to go back over to here, and you can see that our main quest is on the map up here. Its symbol is this orange thing, and it says you got to go through there to get there. Obviously, if you use the map, you get a better idea of where you're supposed to go. It is interesting, though, however, that it won't let you see the map unless you're there. So that's kind of weird. I'm already at the border post. I don't know. There's the menu for the map is kind of strange. But anyway, here I am. in the border post area. There's a lot of like zombie type characters here, which is kind of cool and kind of spooky. See, right here, I would expect to get knocked off of my horse or something, but it did not happen. We did pick up some pants, though. I'm going to run up to some of these guys and use my new ability that says you can hold the button down. That's cool. Okay, that's pretty cool. I do like that. So we picked up some pants, and it is an upgrade. We go from a level 85 item to a level 90 item, so I'll take it. Let's jump back on our horse. I did tell you guys that there were dungeons as well. And this is the final dungeon of this continent, this one here. So we can jump in, hit matchmaking. And once it's matchmaking, you have a little menu up here that pops up and lets you know, hey, you're one of 4 that's currently matchmaking. Now, one of the things I really don't like... oh, actually, there's a named monster down over here. Let's go after this guy. Oh, it's like the little spider guy. That's funny. Dead. But yeah, one of the things I really am not a big fan of with this game is the fact that when you start matchmaking, we're still 1 out of 4, so we may not get into a dungeon for this level here. You have to actually stay in this area to get into the dungeon. So if you queue for a dungeon, you can't just like go back to the other continent that we actually have quests on and quest there and wait for it to queue you in. It won't let you do that, which I think is a big missed opportunity. I think that is something they really need to do. Okay, we're at 2 of 4, so maybe we'll get 2 more. I'm glad it's only 4 people, so that's great. It'd be even better if it could just be 3, right? So we'll wait here a minute or 2 and see if we can get in, and we'll see what's in our bags here, because we did pick up some collectibles. And we do have some stuff to sell, too. Here we go. So we have this Regulus statue fragment. I think we had that from before, but we're going to add that. I do like that in the chat here. It does let you know, too, where you're at. These Book of the Priest are harder to find. We only need 10 of those total to get that taken care of in the Adventurous Tome. Of course, you could sort your items, too. I'm not sure what it uses for sort. Like, I guess it puts armor first. If you hit it a couple times, it doesn't change anything. Oh, yeah, one of the other things I haven't talked about is my pet. Little Bunny Foo-Foo, as you can see here. Little Bunny Foo-Foo is very helpful. She, in the cave die. I don't know the sex of the rabbit, but collects all the stuff that falls on the ground for me, which is super nice because you get a rabbit like pretty close to the beginning of the game. Like you get a rabbit within the first hour you're playing, and it's super helpful because you can see the the cute little bags on the rabbit here, which is funny. But if you see it, like you saw when I killed that one boss bug, oh, here we go. We can go into the dungeon. When we kill that one boss, a ton of stuff drops. So clicking each one of those things is going to just take you forever, you know? All right, so here we go. We are now in the dungeon. Okay, you're done. But yeah, the rabbit will pick up all of those things for you, and I am very appreciative of something like that. It's a good remedy for when you have that happen. I know in Diablo 3, they just are like, hey, you can just like run over gold and stuff like that with auto pickup. And I haven't played Diablo 3 in quite some time, but I feel like I remember hearing, or not hearing, I feel like I remember being able to just run over loot, like just in general, like armor and stuff that do that as well, but I could be wrong. Alright, so these dungeons are fun, but they are just like a button masher's dream. Like you're just running in here, mashing buttons, at least with this character, and doing stuff. Hit button, explode things. Very fun. So we're going to do this dungeon here, just to show you what this is all about. This is the first time we've actually got to play with a few different people in this game here, which is fun. I like being teamed up with people. We got to destroy these caves. Whenever you start these dungeons, they set you up with quests automatically. There are some dungeons that have quests before them. You do have to do a little quest line to kind of like, you know, get into the dungeon in the first place. But once you do, then you can go back in at any point and just, you know, wreak havoc. I imagine once you get your level up enough, you can probably take out this whole dungeon on your own. I am doing terrible here, but I'm not kidding. Hit things, hit things. There we go. Better keep up with my crew here. I think they are kind of rushing this one, which is fine. One of the other things I really like about the dungeons in this, you'll see here, they're very quick. They take, like, so far, I think the longest I was in one was like 10 minutes. It took me 5 to 10 minutes to finish. These guys are already destroying this one. So the bosses are fun to fight. They're going to get these little bars to show you where they're coming from. I'm not sure why I wasn't moving there. But you have the ability to kind of dodge out of the way as well. I haven't talked about the dodging yet, but if you hit spacebar, you can do this dodge out of the way. But it does have a cooldown, so you got to remember that. Be careful. If the boss is a hardcore, you know, they're coming after you hardcore, then it's not going to be good for you. Now, the first time I did this dungeon, it actually took a bit longer. You can see this is taking us less than 5 minutes, which is even better if you're pressed for time or you want to get through it. I think that was actually a very ingenious thing that they did by making it a quick thing. Sometimes in World of Warcraft, you got into a dungeon, and you're spending the rest of your game time playing that dungeon. You're not going to have time for anything else. Hey, get back over here. Nope, dodge out of the way. There we go. So the reason why it took a long time previously is because you'll see on the map there's this like little plants. My cursor is on the mini map, and throughout the whole level, you can find these plants, and it gives you roster level experience. So me and everybody else were running around grabbing these plants. So apparently me and all these people either don't know about the plants, or yeah, because here's one of the plants right here. Either they don't know about the plants, or they're just trying to rush through this to, you know, get his skin again. So if we go to the Adventurous Tome, you remember earlier, we only had one of his skins, and we should have looted another one, I think. We got a spore. We got another statue fragment. Let's see here. So that's where the grinding comes in. They do not give you a skin every time, because we did not get a skin that time. We got some other stuff, but no skin. So whenever you finish a dungeon, you hit the Song of Escape. Your character will GM out here. Go back to the whatever area you want to call it. Where you come from.
Did all the demons in the cave die?
Here we are. So if you really wanted to go get that dude's skin, you know, you could keep running that dungeon over and over and over again if you like.
We've suffered overwhelming losses.
But for now, guys, I want to go back into the menu here. I want to show you a few more things before I go. I know we're already 50 minutes into this level, video here, but I want to show everything off. So we talked about the pets. The rabbit so far is the only pet that we have. Little bunny Foo-Foo. Auto loots items, super handy, but the pet also has effects. You know, it has vitality training, gives us plus 5% HP, plus 10% crit chance, just for having a rabbit around. I mean, how cool is that? But yeah, as you can see from this menu when we hit escape, there's just a ton of stuff. You can go into your mount situation here. You can see we have 2 mounts. I'm going to favorite that one because I really like the white horse. We got to get that turtle at some point, though. Let's see, we did pets, mounts. We already did world map. There's a training room you can go into. Where is the... Okay. So there's a couple more things I'm going to show you guys here. So first off was the achievements. I said the game has a ton of achievements to the point where you saw it actually had to load the achievements up to show you everything. But you can see here we've unlocked 1% of the 1,096 achievements that are available in the game. And that's not all of these achievements are Steam achievements. Only some of them are. So you're going to find stuff in here. And the achievements go towards like unlocking little rewards for your character and stuff, but they're not going to unlock Steam achievements every time. Titles I think are pretty cool. I had Inherited Turtle selected for my character, but you can change it to Bounty, Demon, Pinnacle, and it displays right above your character there. You see Inherited Turtle Taluma. So there's that, which is kind of fun. The game also has an engraving system, which I haven't unlocked yet, but you can engrave stuff. I'm assuming that's going to give you more powers. And then finally, you cannot escape it. It is in every game nowadays. There is a card catalog. So I have collected some cards. You can see I've only gotten 3 so far. But you can, put together decks, and these decks of cards will enhance your character by giving them more powers or just making them more strong overall. But guys, I feel like I've still only covered like 60% of the stuff in this game. There's things like specific quests you could do for NPCs as well. You can give them, presents to start romances with them, and that is also in the Adventurous Tome, I believe. We go back in there. There we go. But yeah, you can see up here. It says "Song for a Hero" between Sierra and what was the other girl's name? I think it was Nefima. We had her card in the card section. You might have saw her. Yeah, there you go. I don't know why the screen went black there. But regardless, guys, this is a great free-to-play game for sure. I think this is one that everybody should check out. It's really weird. I don't know why it went black there. I think the game crashed on me. But it's not without its bugs, obviously. They are doing updates. They actually have a post here on Steam that says current top issues update, which they're letting you know that they are doing updates for the game. They are also, they think they had an update today for like 50 megabytes. So who knows what that added or whatever. This is probably in the release notes. But yeah, this is a great free-to-play game. If you're just looking for something to waste a lot of hours in, check a lot of boxes off, get some Steam achievements, and it's free. I mean, I don't feel like you can really go wrong with this. Now, like I said, it's a hefty download, so keep that in mind. It is like an 80 gig download. It takes up how much space? Let's find out. Local files. Doesn't it say in the information for it? Properties. Updates, local files. No, okay, so I was wrong. I said 80 gig. It takes up 72 gigs, but that's still a hefty download for some people. So please keep that in mind, if you have a data cap or something like that. But there you go, guys. Lost Ark. It's cool. Free to play. Check it out. See if you like it. Keep in mind, like I said, that hefty download. But guys, hey, thanks for watching. I'll see you all in the next one.